Topic time, where we talk about what you think about.
Okay, so recently we have heard in the news of billionaires whose wives have left them. So if you never heard of them, Elon Musk's wife left him, Bill Gates the same, and most recently Jeff Bezos, his wife also left him. So tonight we are trying to ask a very simple question: that does money really secure a woman's love and loyalty? Because these are billionaires I just listed and their wives are gone. So our topic essentially is that what provokes a woman's love and loyalty in a relationship? You can send us a text or WhatsApp or voice notes. Okay, we really would love to hear from you. A voice note via WhatsApp or Telegram to 0244 883008. 0244 883008. My guest on this segment of the Orange Lounge, which is the topic time, a regular Nana Ehutemu, as well as Mr. Innocent Asima and Mrs. Viola Donko, who both will join us on the line.
Topic time, where we talk about what you think about.
Okay, you're still here with us on Topic Time. I have Nana in the studio. Innocent is just joining us on the line. Mr. Asima, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Harry. I'm good. And good evening to your listeners and co-panelists.
Okay. Thank you for your company tonight. Right, first question. So, without money, I know that many relationships collapse. However, why will a relationship collapse when there is abundance of money? Hello?
Hello, Harry.
Yeah, do you hear my question?
Yes. You're asking why a relationship collapse?
Yes. I mean, what I was saying was, we know that without money, many relationships do collapse. Okay. However, my question essentially is, why will a relationship collapse when there is abundance of money in it?
Okay, so a relationship can collapse despite the abundance of money. Abundance of money or financial stability alone does not address the needs of the people involved in a relationship, i.e. the emotional, psychological, and then the relational aspects that sustains a healthy partnership or healthy relationship. Money may provide material comfort, but does not automatically guarantee emotional fulfillment, trust, communication, mutual respect. So that is the basis we need to understand first. So why money will not be in a position to do that, or relationship could collapse in the midst of abundance of money, could be one, lack of emotional connection. Emotional intimacy versus material wealth. Money can provide security, but it cannot replace emotional connection, which is essential for sustaining a relationship. If partners don't replace emotional connections with essential, to nurture their emotional bond through communication, affections, and undergoing other sort of things, then they may feel emotionally neglected, and that will result in disconnection, which will lead to dissatisfaction, and then you may have the money and you may not be able to look at that. Another thing that happens is imbalance of power and control. Financial control, when one partner controls finances, it can create power imbalances in a relationship. The person with the financial control may make unilateral decisions leading to the feelings of inadequacy, inequality, resentment from the other partner, which can lead to dissatisfaction and then possible cause the relationship to just fall apart. We also do have materialism versus relationship values. Most people focus on material success. When couples place too much emphasis on their financial success, material possessions, and status, that may neglect the deeper emotions and relational aspects of their partnership. I give you an example. There are a lot of wealthy people who you could see they have money, but even though they have money, something came in along the line which resulted in their relationship going sour. We can look at Bill Gates, for instance. What money does he know? He's one of the top 10 billionaires, richest people in the world, with the wife Melania. But their relationships has gone sour. They have the money, they have all the influence, they had everything, but unfortunately, they have decided to part their ways. So just having money financially will not be enough just to keep them married. Relationship will collapse even though there is a lot of money. And one thing with, especially with the woman, is mostly the woman can sacrifice everything for you even if you don't have money. And try to stay with you, try to ensure that the basic things that is required of you as a husband, you are putting that in there. You hear a lot of stories. I give you an example. There was this lady who was a very nice lady coming from a very simple background, and a gentleman who came to marry tried to come to seek for her hand in marriage, came with all the materials and the money, the cars and everything, and this lady turned him down. This guy was well-to-do, but the lady said no. And when he was there, I'm not going to marry the person for the money. He has all the money in the world. I don't need the money. I need the person that I value. So if you are coming just because of the money, then I'm sorry. The whole area, everybody was like, this girl is stupid. Unfortunately, she left this gentleman. Fortunately or unfortunately, she decided to just let go of this guy. Married a gentleman who was a teacher. This teacher didn't have the cars, came to the place with his 2x2, 2 wheels, with his legs.
Mm-hmm. This man was using Lexus.
Lexus, and the other one was using the 4 wheels. But she decided to go for this teacher. At the end of the day, they are happily married now with 3 kids. And this teacher who she got married to now has now graduated, has been improved, and is now a dean of students in one of the premier universities in country. And this guy who had come in, unfortunately, as we speak now, is in prison.
Wow.
So you might see the monetary aspect of it and just try to jump into monetary, I think, and that will result in it. Another thing that could cause it is a lack of attention and time. Busy lifestyles, abundance, people have the money, but they are too busy with work schedules, demanding careers, travels here and there, and that becomes a challenge. The other person says, you didn't marry me to keep me in the house. But so you have everything, you have the money, you have everything, they tell you no, and yes, so the person is not there. I am just in the house looking at the birds and the dog and the house. It's of no relevance to me. So those are some of those things that can come in, even though you have money. Sometimes can even be infidelity and temptations, can also come in stress and pressure from yourself. Erosion of personal identities can also result in it. Complacency and neglect are all factors that can come in the relationship, irrespective of the money or the financial muscles that you have. Without taking care of them, the relationships can go sour.
Okay. I actually read somewhere that women prefer men who are busy. See, so I'm trying to find out where the balance is, or it should just be a good balance of this guy having and also being busy enough. A good mix of that is what should work, right?
Okay, so when they say women want people who are busy, it's not that women want to see their husband to be doing something, because biblically the woman comes to help. So they are helpmates. So if there is nothing for the woman to help with, her value in the relationship is useless. So they want somebody who is doing something that they can also come in and help. Women are multiplying effect. They are like catalysts that will push whatever you are doing, if you treat them well, to the next level. So if you are, that's why if you give a woman, let's say grocery, she'll prepare you a nice meal. You just give her something small, and she will help multiply what you've given her. You give her a semen, she takes it, grows it, and produce a baby for you. You give her a house, she helps you make it a home. But if she comes in and you have nothing doing, and then she gets frustrated, then you are rather turning the equations other way around, where the woman now begins to think twice. So what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? So they always want to help their spouses or their relations or their husband to do something, to be productive. Okay. That is the joy of every woman. Not that they just want the man to be running up and down. Today he's jumping here, tomorrow he's... No. They want to see the person being productive.
I see. All right. Nana, you've been quiet for some time. You were shaking your head at some point. Why?
Oh, yeah, because the point that he was making and saying that women, when you give them everything, they will get you a good meal, but they will just go and buy you fried rice and come and put it down for you, and it's a good meal to some of them. Yes, Henry, this question that you just asked, Innocent have just said everything about it, but what Innocent forgets is that most women also prefer good sex. If the man the man is having all the money in this world, and then they are not getting good sex as the way they are expecting, I think they find it difficult to enjoy. Good sex is also a factor that makes the woman to also enjoy every bit of the relationship. That is what Innocent forgets. And I wish Innocent gets to know that if a man gets everything, get the money, give the woman the respect, everything, let the woman enjoy everything, and you don't take care, because you are not giving the woman good sex, the woman can just leave you and go for someone who is using a tricycle. And it's a fact. Research has also proven that the women, the most things that women are in for relationship is just making sure that the man gives them good sex. And two, yes, respect is there, but spending is also a factor. The way the woman will spend, no matter how much you give it to a woman and the woman overspend, if you are not careful, there will be a breakup in the relationship. You may be a billionaire, you may be whoever, assuming that at the end of the month you are earning about $50,000, and you are, if you dollars scramble, you see $50,000 cedis, and at the end of the month your wife spends somewhere like 20,000 cedis or 30,000 cedis. You ask yourself so many questions. What is she using the money for? And that is where that also brings a problem. There may be money, but the man may think that the woman should use the money according to, or should use the money profitably, or use it very well. Not just because there's money and you can decide to go and buy or make the natural hair. This hairstyle, what is the name?
Which one?
The one that your wife prefers most. Natural. Okay. The one that short one, the short hair. Is it Brazilian hair or I've forgotten the name they give it to it.
Give it a Ghanaian name like Quincy Minton hair or something.
They normally have their names. You go and do it, and tomorrow you just remove it, do it the following day. You know, at times, though there's money, but the men get frustrated. And this one, we are balancing it like it's only the men that has the money. Women too can. Some women can have equally or have money more than the men. And they'll be expecting you to put in certain effort. Yes, you about Whisker said then Crampona. Do you hear about Manchester and chop money? There are a lot of money, but the woman may have enough money to take care of the house. But all that the woman needs from the man is that there should be a pocket money, there should be a feeding money. At least if feeding money 50 cedis crown or the 200 cedis and 300 cedis crown, she knows that at the end of the day there was a money on the table. So if it is not coming, maybe you sitting outside there may not know that, yes, it's the woman who is pulling the money. But I think that there's money in the relationship before you realize there's also divorce. And you can get some men to that overspend. Then you will scapa, but you see that he will be just using the money unnecessary, going to clubs, buying things that are not useful. There's money. But the woman can decide if that's the case, you have to end the relationship. So it is not only per woman that makes it like that, but both sex can equally, when the cash is there, both sex can equally makes it look like that.
Okay. Hello, now.
Hello.
Yes, so without money, many relationships collapse, right?
Yes.
However, why will a relationship collapse when there is abundance of money?
Good evening, and thank you for adding me to the group. I think that money cannot replace emotional connections. Neither can it replace trust. Neither can it replace effective communication in a relationship. So it is not always that we need money to make a relationship work.
Okay.
Because there are other things that can factor into collapsing of relationship other than money. One of the things that I will talk about is overindulgence, I think excessive spending, which leads to irresponsible behavior. When your partner excessively spends his or her money, you realize that at the end of the day, you would always find yourself wanting when it comes to monetary aspects. In such that he or she is misusing the money, and there's some of the things that you would need for the house cannot be provided. When it continues like that, it's kind of frustrating. So sometimes the other partner just gives up and then tries to work out of the marriage, because when it goes on like that, it means that the person is not able to manage his or her finances. So mismanagement of finances can be a factor. Also, when there is lack of intimacy, I don't know if somebody was speaking about this earlier. I
think Nana was saying something from a man's perspective, but you can add the females.
Oh, okay. We know that wealth can lead to isolation, reducing emotional closeness. When some people, when they have money, it tends to override them. They feel like so you can't tell me what to do, or you can't ask me to do this, you can't ask me to sleep. Most especially it comes when women tend to be earning more than the men. And even that thing, it mostly happens when it is even vice versa. But you try to control the home because you think you are the one bringing on the finances to the house. So the time and the day that I want to spend with my husband or my wife, that is what I want to do. So information may say I should let's say the wife, let me put this into example, a wife who earns more than the husband. Sometimes the wife may feel like she's having money. But like that kind of behavior. So when it comes to that, it leads to bottomness in the relationship, and sometimes it leads to collapse of the relationship. And also disconnecting from the reality. Like I said, money can create a lot of bubbles, disconnecting partners from real world problems. You realize that you base on the money that you have, and you'll be straying away from the very things that are important in life. When you do that, the real life situations, you cannot really counter it. This afternoon, I was looking at a story where a woman had to divorce the husband, but she divorced and took everything from the man, claiming everything, faking that the man has been beating her and all that, not knowing the lady is the one who has been beating the man. But after taking everything from the man as a, let me say, compensation, she felt like she has money, so she can rule the world. After going to court to file for divorce and everything, she went back to the man after taking everything there, and now I have the money, so I want to marry you. Yes, and the whole thing is funny. She thinks like the man was having money, so he will control her. He filed for a divorce. After the divorce, he realized that the man had moved on. And unfortunately for her, it was the lawyer lady who dealt with the divorce case that was about to get married to the man. And then she got jealous. She felt jealous, but she was thinking that because he has money, he can control the husband. But the man let her know that, hey, you don't control my emotions because you have money. Yes, I don't have anything. But then, so some people think that because they have money, they can control their family relationship, but it's not always the case. So that's
okay. My next question is, I think you said a few things about it, but I'll ask all the same. What do women consider more important than money in the marriage? So assuming money has gone down, which other pillars will sustain the marriage in this case?
I always talk about caring for your family. You know that I always read out this thing that caring for somebody is not always about money. Just show the person that you care. At least even if you are not giving the person money, let the person know that you care for him or her. Money can't solve everything. Caring can be anything, any little thing. Oh, this morning, have you eaten? We women, we really enjoy that. Have you eaten? How are you? How is your day going? And all that. A lot of women tend to find this thing as love. Just a little concerns and the care that you be giving her. We try to measure it as a maximum percentage of love. So basically, it's caring. If the man or the woman is caring, I don't think it would have to deal with monetary aspects for the relationship to work. Care and affection, I think, is all that matters in a relationship.
Is it that women want? Okay, which one do women want? Care or pampering?
Care. Me, I would say care.
Okay.
Hello.
Let her finish, please.
No, I just want her to know that I'm here.
Now, are you done?
Yeah, I just want to ask her.
You are doing great.
Oh, doing well by God's grace. Inshallah. Yeah. Nana, Lady Pastor, I want to find out from you. You were just making some analysis. And I also want to find out from you, are you doing away that sex is not one of the main tools that let women be in a relationship when money, abundance of money is available and everything, care, as you are saying, is there? Do you go away with sex or do away with sex?
Last week I made a point like not all women are sex lovers because there are some women you can't even use sex.
So if you take a population of a church, how much percentage of the women there will be sex lovers?
I would say like just 20% will be sex lovers.
Hey!
But you heard that there's even a sound when you said that.
Yeah, because the sound doesn't believe that it's 20%.
No, madam. Let's be honest. I think sex serves as a major tool in a relationship.
Okay.
Not always.
No. When we are saying that,
so let me get clarity here.
Yes.
She's spoken about care as being a pillar that without money, the relationship, in a woman's perspective, can't rely on.
How does she describe the care?
Oh, she said a few things.
Satisfying the person is part of care. Satisfying the person in bed is part of care.
So in your case, you think that sex is a strong pillar to stand on for marriage to work?
You can open the phone lines for listeners to call.
Oh, the phone lines are open. 0244 883 008. Nana thinks that without money and care, sex can sustain marriage. Is that what you're saying?
Without money, yes, sex can sustain marriage.
Sex alone can do that.
Not so it can never be alone.
No, so that's why I've taken out the money, the care bit.
No, so if without the money and care, or a relationship in movie. The only thing that you can see someone, you can see that my colleagues that they say that they are with a nice looking lady. They don't have the cash. They don't have anything. The care is just someone said that say Madam, can you cover one of your ears because I'm coming to say something that say really your girlfriend you cry because they have the care and they do have good sex.
Okay, so
you get it?
If I get you agree with now that care is a tool to make sure it works, and then for you, sex is a big deal.
It's a component that you can never.
Is it just a component for you, or a big deal for you?
No, it's a component. It's something that whatever you bring and it's not part, it doesn't work.
Okay, so it's an essential component.
Very, very serious.
All right.
If you ask now, I mean, if now we'll be honest with you.
If you are listening to us for the first time, Nana Ehunten is a sex therapist and he's somebody who is passionate about sex through and through. Yes. And he doesn't think that for a church, it is only 20% of the women.
For that one, I disagree.
So
I disagree.
What will your
a
percentage
church
be?
of how many percent? How many people?
Let's say 500 people.
Oh, almost 99.9% of them love sex.
Okay.
No, sex is part of. The Bible says that. Listen, if Lady Pastor should forgive me if I quote it wrong because I'm not coming to give it, but it's in the Bible. You see, a kind of time so.
Is it in the Bible?
Oh, ask Lady Pastor.
It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. Yes, a kind of time so.
Okay.
Nipa on a bema a kind a doba.
Okay.
So what does it mean? It is in the Bible. So sex is one of the best components when it comes to relationship.
Okay.
You can never do away with sex. Because listen, love exists when there's sex.
Again.
When people think that, me don't know, marriage is not about sex, then I'll go and take my sister to come and stay with me. Because it's the component. So when money is there, or when you take money out of a relationship, the component of money in a relationship is just because of economic hardship, but it's just about 5% of it. It's just about 5% when you talk about money. But when you talk about care, yes, care there by care no the element back is sex. By sex nankasa is part of a component. It cannot do away with it.
Okay.
Because as now is saying, let's assume that I don't want to use now as a case study, but let's assume a lady is there. The husband gives you everything, and the husband doesn't let you have sex, or you don't enjoy anything. You ask yourself, you ask yourself so many questions. So sex is something that you can't do away with it. So if she's saying that 20% of church members is something that they love sex, it is 99.9%, only 0.1 that maybe you can get about them that they are not interested in sex. If not that, all of them will be Roman sisters.
All right. I think Innocent will move us forward when it comes to hello, Innocent. Oh, this man. Hello, Mr. Asima. Hey, please move us forward. Okay. let's go to our next one. Is greed more powerful than love when it comes to relationship? For which reason money would part people who, from all intents and purposes, are very, very loving people to each other?
Okay, so before we continue, let me just drop this info. Whilst you were discussing the earlier subject, we need to understand that we have people who have what we call high sex drive and low sex drive.
And that looks like the high type.
So you need to understand the perspective from which sometimes some of those things are analyzed from, and then you know where it goes with your respective to your partner and the rest. With that in mind, greed being more powerful than love when it comes to relationship. Well, relationship between greed and love is a complex one, actually. Which one exerts more influence in a relationship depends on individuals who are involved in the relationship. One, their values. Two, the dynamics of their relationships. Very, very cool, important in there. So there are instances where greed can be more powerful than love, and there are instances where love can be more powerful than greed. So let's look at the first instance where greed can be more powerful than love. In this case, the self-interest overcomes the compassion for the relationship. In a relationship where partners prioritize their own desires, ambitions, or their material worth, then greed can overshadow the love in the relationship. This is especially true if the personal gains becomes more important to people than the emotional, relational satisfactions and communication needs of the relationships. In this case, then greed will come over that. The second one is manipulation and control. A greedy partner may use manipulation and control to achieve their own goals, such as financial gains, status, power, to just dominate or pull the family into that particular thing. This behavior can erode the trust, affections, and the mutual respect, causing the love to weaken over a period of time. Then materialism over emotional fulfillment. Emotional fulfillment is also very important. So when one party decides that, well, they are focusing on materialism rather than the pursuit of relationships, then the relationship may become sad. And the greed aspect of it, they will focus only on their material aspect, and then they'll be starving the emotional needs, emotional fulfillment, and satisfactions of the relationships. So that can also, in this case also, then greed will overpower the relationship. However, love can also overpower greed, where there is sacrifice and selflessness. Then, once you love your partner, love is often characterized by selflessness, where the partners are willing to make sacrifices for each other. In this case, then the happiness and the well-being of each other becomes paramount in the relationships. And this builds a healthy relationships. In this case, love will always overshadow the greed aspect of it because they are not prioritizing their individual needs, but they are looking out for the other partner as well. Emotional fulfillment over material gains. So when love is driven as the driving force in the relationship, emotional fulfillment, companionship, and then the shared experiences becomes more important than material gains in the relationship. When this come in play, then the love in the relationship will overcome that of the selfishness or the greed aspect of it. Then have building together. When you try to put the thing of building things together, but you're taking it alone. I have a philosophy, I always tell people that some personnel that if you are building things together, if you are building a home together, and your wife buys the cylinder and you buy the stove, if the means is there, you are building things together. When you are doing something, you know when she's going away, she's going with the cylinder, you be left with the stove. or if she's going with the stove, you'll be left with your cylinder. So you do things together, there's harmony, there is joy, there's peace, and that overcomes the great aspect of the relationship. Marriage is not for selfish people. If you are selfish, it will be very challenging for you because there will not be that satisfaction, emotional satisfaction, psychological satisfaction will not be there, which will lead to a lot of other things which can affect the relationship. So in conclusion, greed can indeed be powerful in a relationship, particularly when individuals prioritize their own interests or material interests over the emotional interests. Ultimately, the balance between greed and love in a relationship depends on the values of individuals, their intentions for each partner in the relationship as they go along. Thank you.
Okay. Lena.
Hello.
Yeah. Any more to add?
Yes, a little what I want to add is that love generally is more powerful to sustain a relationship forced by greed. But love can overcome love can overcome a lot of challenges and difficulties. But when you allow greed to come in, it creates problems and insecurities as well as desperations in the marriage. So it is bound on the two of you to raise yourself in order not to allow greed and love. In this perspective, I'll say when greed comes into a relationship, it brings about a lot of enviness, resentment, competition, unnecessary competition. And sometimes it creates division and isolation. So as a couple or as a partner, as whoever you are, whatever relationship that you are in, you must try as much as possible to let love overcome the greed in every relationship, being it marriage, being it a boyfriend, girlfriend, being it a courting stage. So I believe that when much love is encouraged in a relationship, it would overshadow the greed aspect of it all. So it is just bound on the two of you to make it work, to make love lead greed. Because whenever we entertain greed in this marriage, in a relationship, it affects the relationship and it may suffer or even fail. So the two of you must work things out very well in order for love to lead all the time.
All right. Nana has about 2 minutes to spend on this one. Then we'll go to our last question.
Now, I just wanted to ask. I heard making or talking about that sex has there are people who love sex and some doesn't. And I just want to enlighten me or give me a brief.
We'll pass that. So if you think there is something else to add to the sexy part of everything we have said here, you can say that one.
Oh no! All that they've said? It's a good point.
Okay.
But I just want them to know that the element of sex should be part of all that they are saying.
So where does sex come in a situation where you are looking at greed and love? Can greed be greater than love in a relationship?
Oh, greed. There are some women that are greedy. There are some guys that are greedy. We get it. When in a relationship.
So the question I want to ask you, since you are so fixated on the sex bit,
yes,
is that can a spouse be greedy in sex?
When you say obi or what? The thing is that
this question is for you alone.
No, you're no, Lady Pastor is there, so I mean I don't have a problem.
No, she won't answer this question. It is you.
Okay, fine. The thing is that there are some couples where they are greedy. Simple because when the person
wants. No, so there's an individual in this who is naturally greedy.
Yes, because whatever it is, I say, even when you have sex, during the time of satisfaction, the element of greediness comes in. So the time, these are part of it. But when you love someone, I always say that the sex also has its own component, because there's sex making and love making.
Hey, explain.
This is a topic of another day.
Okay, so I'll note it somewhere.
You get it?
Yes.
So when people are having sex, at times, that is why we have different types of sex. There are so many variety of sex. So when somebody is greedy, the person prefer that. Let's assume that somebody prefer doggy as they normally used, and then the guy, after giving the doggy to the lady, and the guy also prefer maybe sit on me. You get it? But when the lady is okay, as soon as the lady is okay, no matter what you do to the lady, I say, why are you weak? Like the way it happens to men. You see? So it's like when the person is okay and you don't want your other partner to be satisfied, I mean, there's greediness coming. You are greedy.
Anyway, you're listening to Topic Time on the Orange Lounge here on 105.1 FM Radio Max, your magic music station. The Orange Lounge comes your way every Wednesday between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Okay, my people. So in marriage today, and this year I think I've witnessed about 3 already. What do people really marry for? Is it for money? Is it for love? Or is it for companionship?
This one, I'll prefer Lady Pastor.
Okay.
Comes in with this, because that is the aspect of ladies. No, men get married because one, they get married of 2 things. Or let me make it 3. One is because they just want to be focused. That is because they also want to have good sex. They want to release the stress on the woman. And then the third one is that because they just ways that they like to get a good family.
Okay.
You get it. But the ladies there, my Lady Pastor no mommy.
I see.
She'll be in the best position.
All right, now.
I would like to say that when it comes to individuals, motivations and other things may vary. Because generally you can't say that I am marrying because of 1 or 2, or I'm marrying because of money, I am marrying because of that, I'm marrying because of that. There are many values and connections, emotional connections, shared values, personal growth, other things that their partner may expect in the marriage. So in recent times, there's something that I researched about. It says that 10 to 25% of people marry because they want to have children. Okay. And they want to start a family. And 60 to 70% of people who marry need companionship and friendship.
Okay. 40 to 55% of people who marry because they want financial stability and security. Security in the sense that you know that, I'm not alone. I have a companion, I have a partner. When there is you can call on somebody, or you have somebody by you who will be able to help you out in terms of such things. And 15 to 30% indicates that it is intimacy and physical connection that makes people marry. Sometimes people feel like, I've been lonely for all this while. I need somebody that can I want to get intimate with. And the Bible makes us understand that
when you are not married and then you get intimate with somebody, it is fornication. So in order for you not to fornicate, in order for me not to fornicate, okay, let me get married so that I'll get a license to do the things that I want to do. So, yeah, basically this is the research I did on why people want to get married. But
Lady Pastor,
let her finish.
I just want to find out what things.
This man.
This man. What things? I mean, she said when I want to do the things. What things? I just want to hear. You are making a statement that because the Bible says of fornication and then adultery. No, it's not adultery because you have not got fornication. Because of that, you just want to get married so that when you want to do the thing, and I just want to find out what thing.
Oh, well, now I made mention of intimacy in the beginning. So I'm talking about intimacy.
Intimacy in what way?
Please go on.
I just want to know the actual. No, listen. There are some words that you are just.
We'll eat into your time. He's quiet now.
No, but I wanted to find out the things that she was making reference to. But I think right now, okay, fine.
You understand what things she was talking about?
I will take it like that because let's take it like that. I wanted her to be what's it? Yes, we are not actually see so the thing that you are referring to, that you can have good sex. That's what I just want to hear.
Okay, so you understood like that. But you wanted her to say
yes. Legal.
Legal.
So it means that your interest is just going to take a license from your parents so that you can go and have good sex.
The research that I made, about 15 to 30% of the people, or the people who marry, show that they want to get intimate.
They want to get a license from their parents so that they can have good sex.
Yes,
please.
Yes.
Okay. Just that they want to have good sex. That's why they got married, right? So you see that you cannot run away with the word sex.
Yes.
Okay.
Even that one is just 15 to 30%.
Oh, but 15 to 30%, you've not given us accuracy, like the type of the research you did. You get it?
Yes.
The research you did, they say 15 to 30%. So all the percentage you've just mentioned, if you add them together, they are above 100%.
Yes,
so they are above 100%. So which means that let's assume that even 30% of your research shows that they are getting married because of good sex.
Yes.
30% is not a small thing.
No.
You get it?
No.
The rest is financial stability.
If a political party gets 30% in this year's election, they will be formidable. Now, please finish your points for us so that Mr. Innocent can come and then hopefully his words will conclude it for us.
Okay, so from these things that I said earlier, you realize that money isn't the major factor when it comes to companionship or marriage, because it just forms a piece of it.
Okay.
It is only just a handful of ladies and gentlemen who go into marriage for money.
Okay.
It's just 5%.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Asman.
Yes, Henry.
Yeah. So you have the last word on this. What do people marry for? Money, love, or companionship?
I think these days people marry for various reasons, and the love, which goes in, we have to do with the emotional connection. For many people, love is still the primary reason for getting married. People seek emotional intimacy, affection, and deep connections through that. Others for companionship. where people want to have that partner and friendship. So, and then others also go for the money and then financial stability. With the love-making bit of it, they all complement to it. There are people who that is solely their aim of getting married, as Viola rightly says, so they can have legal way of making love, or just nobody will say, well, you are making love wrongly, or you are having intercourse wrongly, or it's a sin, or other things. So they want to just get a license. That's okay, I am married, and then they'll be in the position to do that as well. But on the map, it varies from person to person. It depends on people look at where they are now, where they want to get to, and what they need to complement them in getting to those places. So, in conclusion, many people marry this is for mix of love, or mix of anything, mix of love, companionship, financial stability, love making or sex, and then the balance of these factors. When you balance all these factors, depending on the personal preferences and the life goals, the cultural influences, ideally helps to make the relationships go in a better particular way. But most things to understand is they don't marry just because of the money reason, but they'll pick small from here, they'll pick another from here, they'll pick another from here, and then they'll be able to pick it up. In the political analysis, for instance, there are some people who, once they see they are getting to mainstream politics, they want to make sure they are attached to somebody, because someone will say, well, you are not even married, how are you going to even be able to manage the politics of the nation? And so somebody will want to go into marry, how can you become an MP if you don't have this? And based on that, they marry for various diverse reasons. But in the nutshell, there is always an underlying factor for which people go into marry, and that should be looked at when you are going into any relationship. Thank you.
All right, thank you too. Money is the number one issue married people fight about, and it's the second leading cause of divorce behind infidelity. When we talk about money in relationship of any kind, we are bound to find some frustration and tension. God's word challenges us to consider whether two people can work together unless they are in agreement, as found in Amos 3, verse number 3. One of the more obvious ways is with money matters. The word also states that getting by with less, financially speaking, is better than having a lot of wealth and fighting all the time. Finally, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse number 10, reading from the NLT, says that, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, and some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows." Right, if you have a story or a certain condition that you want us to deliberate on your behalf on our show, you can send us an email to orangelounge1051@gmail.com or hkoliveweekly@gmail.com. I'd like to say thank you to my guests on Topic Time today. Nana Ehuntehun. Nana is a businessman, he's a land surveyor and a chief. Thank you also to Mr. Innocent Asema, who is a health and safety professional, and also Mrs. Viola Donko, who is our lady pastor.